All right, last play of the third quarter is just a little 1 yard run by Marshawn, who continues to, like I said, he's improved so much. You're hearing me talk about this more and more. Of being more patient with his blockers instead of trying to bounce it to the outside so much like he was earlier in the year, and it's allowing him to not get negative plays and just kind of sometimes take what's there. Something I was talking about with CBS needed to do earlier to maybe pick up a first down. That's been a big, huge difference for Marshawn. Oh man, the commentators were sitting there talking about how this atmosphere, and I mean it was off the chain, guys. My hair literally stood up on my arms at the beginning of the game, just feeling the intensity and the electricity in the air. And now this play just it breaks down. We don't get anything out of it. you know. We've been really good. Marshawn might have needed to block and run it to the outside. He might have been a little too patient right there. Maybe he should have went ahead and bounced it to the outside a little earlier before that last defender got in there. But it's hard to critique. It's not like the blocking was awful. It's not like Marshawn was awful. But also defense's job is to make plays, guys. They've got to make plays sometimes, and it not necessarily be our fault. Sometimes the defense just did a good job. Sometimes the defense just did a good job. And it's a lot easier to say that now, considering that we see that the O-line is blocking and creating holes and things and getting us pass protection. So it's a lot easier to sit there and say that now than it was before. Okay, so this pass actually hits Brooks in the chest, and the commentator talks about it. It's a third down situation, of course, and so we got to go for it somewhere. The defender was a little handsy. I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, hey, if it'd have been called on Cam Smith, that's for sure. But he didn't really interfere with the pass so much. We wouldn't want it called on our guy for sure. He had his hands on him. He didn't do anything to interfere with that. The pass comes through. Brooks could have caught it. He didn't. He's had second drop in the game. I'm not faulting the kid. He's made some amazing catches this year. The one in the end zone, if he'd have caught it, it would have changed a lot of the complexion of what we're talking about stats-wise and this and that. But, and then this one, it's well defended. He could have made the play, and then, going down the road, that's what we'll have to know too, though. Is the difference is can Jalen Brooks make these plays? We've seen Wells make them. We've seen Wells drop them too. I mean, it's not easy. This isn't a pass-fail kind of scenario sometimes, guys, because it just. You can't always make those plays, It's just not always going to be made. Okay, now, here. This play, this is driving me nuts. Because this is potentially an RPO, for one, that we say, I heard somebody say, we don't run any RPOs. We actually run a crap ton of RPOs. It's maybe too much sometimes. It's giving Spencer too much to think about. And, Lloyd could have gotten something out of that if he handed it to him. But here's the big thing. This play is actually set up, and guess who's out there? Number 5. Everybody has been complaining, where's DK, where's DK, where's DK? Well, here's the play to DK. This was going to be a screen. There's no reason that he doesn't pass the ball to him. There's no reason he doesn't just go ahead and pass him the ball. He's got a 2-on-1 block right here. That's more than enough on a wide receiver screen. Why did Spencer pull this ball down? What in the world was he doing here? What was he doing here? I don't know what to say there. I'm flabbergasted on that one because we'll want to blame this on the OC or this or that or yada. Man, there's a play actually set up to the carry-on joiner. It's open, and he doesn't throw it. He just decides not to throw it. I don't know. I think this ends up being an RPO. And Spencer, honestly, I heard somebody say, we need to do RPOs. I don't think Spencer's good with RPOs. I think we're trying them too much. I think it gives the kid too much to think about. Let's go on to the next play. And I think this is a big drive for us, actually, because, oh no, I think this one's going to get cut short too. I think we're going to get this is the one that's going to get cut short due to non-called pass interferences. This is a good run play here. I want to point out real quick. This is where I like to, now because Marshawn has gotten more patient in these zone read run plays. If you notice, all the A&M defenders kind of close into the gap. You got the one guy kind of looking at him, hoping he's going to come to him. He's going to be able to make the play. He's trying to contain Marshawn right there, basically. You go, why isn't that guy making the play? Well, sometimes, you know, you go too fast for an athletic running back, and he zips around you and makes an even bigger play. So he's trying to contain him here, and he does, and he makes Marshawn have to make a decision to go to the right versus going to the left. And, you know, Josh Van gets us a nice block right here. And we get, you know, 4 yards out of it because of that. I don't know why is this video weird? Oh, I know what happened. I like re-recorded it and then it's weird. But yeah, I mean, this is a good 4-yard run play here. We'll go ahead and go to the next one. Sets us up for 3rd and 5. And this is what happens here on 3rd and 5. Okay, so Spencer yet again. You know, here's a narrative for you. We don't have enough pass plays to the middle of the field. Josh Van's wide open. Okay, even before now, while Spencer's already starting to throw the ball. Let's watch this. Josh is starting to come across right now. Okay, even right now, he could throw the ball to him right there. He's looking at Lloyd, so he doesn't see Van. Here, Van is still open. Van is still open. Van is right there in the middle of the field, wide open, and he doesn't throw it to him. Now, I mean, there is a defender coming over, you know, just defending on Stogner, so maybe he saw that guy and decided, oh, it's a little too narrow of a window. Van is still open. Van is still open. Van is still open. Van is still open. And honestly, even a simple cross, you know, a cross body throw is hard to do. We know that. But because Van is so open, it doesn't even have to be a super accurate throw. Van is sitting open in the middle of the field. Spencer is not seeing him here, okay? You know, and sometimes you go, oh, well, you can't tell, you know, if a guy is really open. You don't have the same angles, you know, to see what Spencer's seeing. In this particular scenario, you can tell. There's no reason this ball did not get past Josh Van. There should have been an attempt towards that way several times, and Spencer doesn't see it. You know, Spencer doesn't see it. I'm sorry. You know, I hate critiquing the kid because he's improving so much, but I also think we had unreal expectations of Spencer Rattler. A lot of people thought he was going to come here and be Tom Brady. You know, he's a kid. You know, he's just, what's going on with my videos? I recorded a lot of, I wonder what the commentators are talking about here. I think they're talking about his happy feet. Yeah, because, here's the whole thing. And further elaborating on this, he didn't even need to start moving off. Like, where's he going? Like, he gets all antsy right there. You see, but there was no reason to. What does he perceive? Wherever he is feeling the pressure, you know, whatever reason he's feeling pressure here, it's just not there. He creates the pressure. Oh man, look right there. Look down the field. This time I can see an angle. And look down the field. Number 13, I believe it's Brooks. If Spencer isn't happy feeting right here, oh, it's DK. It's DK. DK's out there. Misses DK again, man. Mrs. Van, Mrs. DK. You know, I almost feel sometimes, I swear, like Spencer has no relationship with our receivers from last year. You know, that's part of it, I swear sometimes. Like he only wants to, you know, he's only finding these transfer guys. Like, you know, he just hasn't built any trust or something with those guys. I don't know. You know, it's just weird. If he wasn't happy feeding there, he had several plays. That play was definitely on Spencer. Boom. Nice blocking. We got a good 5-yard chunk right there. These little motion plays too, you see every time we put these guys in motion, I don't know, those little motions add a lot to it. Just the eye candy makes the defense kind of, follow the guy, then the play gets snapped, and boom, their eyes are following the player, and it's nice. And Nate Atkins is a great lead blocker, and he can catch. The guy can catch too. They're reminding us of that constantly. They want to, if Nate's going to be around a little while, that's going to be huge. Huge play from Josh Fan. Now here's the other thing though, and you'll hear the commentators talk about this yet again. Okay, we're going to see the replay angle here. This is giving us like the sky cam view. Josh is open in the middle of the field right now. He's right there. He's open. He's open. He's open. He's open. He's open. This scramble to the outside is unnecessary. This scramble to the outside is unnecessary. Okay, because Josh had already been open. Okay, now it works out. We get the play. But he was already open. Spencer does not see the middle of the field. Everybody's going, there's not enough play calls to the middle of the field. When they're there, Spencer doesn't see them. If I was the OC, I'd quit even designing play calls to the middle of the field because they're just wasted. Everybody's like, play to Rattler's strengths. Well, also throw to the middle of the field. Well, apparently his strength is not throwing to the middle of the field at times. I don't, Spencer Rattler is literally the best quarterback we have ever had from a talent and possibility standpoint. God, Marshawn. Once again, Nate Atkins in. Boom, big block. Helps bring it open. Boom, Marshawn bounces it around, and it took some blocks from the O-line, a block from Atkins, and we still power it through them. And here's the thing about this play. Let's look back. 1, 2, 3. No, they only got like 6 guys in the box. It's not like a huge number, but safety's crashing down immediately. So now there's 7 guys in the box, and yet we still, make the play. Look who else is blocking out here on the perimeter. Look at the perimeter blocking. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Who's that? That's Van. Okay, that's huge. And those are the things we were missing earlier this year. That took that run, could have just been a 7-8 yard run, and it ends up being a bigger run. And we've missed those earlier in the year. And the coaches go, execution, guys. We keep saying, oh, you're using that as an excuse. Somebody else was calling the second half. That's why it was better in the second half. Man, execution certainly is a factor at times, guys. Let's see what this next play is. Boom. Well, it's CBS. And, I want to dissect this one a little bit because, I've been a little critical of CBS in this game. Let's see, could he have done... Now, right there is his seam. This is the biggest seam he's going to get. Right here, he just needs to go ahead and put his head down, and that last little, that seam closed quick, though. I say that, I'm like, hey, there's a seam. Well, it closed pretty quick, too. But even here, it's a lot of lateral running and not enough, there's a hole right there, and he might not have got much on it, but he could have got a couple of yards. If you don't get those 1 or 2 yards sometimes, you don't get the bigger runs either. So, especially watch this, because this guy was crashing through in that block. All right, number, was it 26 right there? So he would have basically been because of the angle of that guy where he's at, if CBS goes ahead and just cuts it straight up through, this hole right here, he might have gotten a couple of yards out of it. Obviously you got to the defender here, and probably that guy would have been able to help on the play, but he would have gotten a couple of yards. Instead, he's trying to bounce it out. He's trying to he's just trying to do too much. He's just trying to do too much, and I get it, because the kid had an amazing year last year. He's probably watching his draft stock going down. He's like, man, my draft stock's just going down, down, down. But he was injured. don't think anybody's gonna hold that against him. Here was that nice, beautiful. It's not the same. They said it's not exactly the same, and it's not. But it's what I like about it is it looks like an option. Okay, first it was a read option like to CBS looks like, right? And then they're going on a speed option with what looks like Spencer and Bell. And once again, here we go. We're utilizing Bell without touching the ball, and that's going to be so important going forward. If we don't utilize him not touching the ball, then we're never going to be able to get him to get the touches. And because it looks like Spencer and him are on a speed option, the guys are selling out to that. Oh, Brooks is like, nope, psych, I got this. I bet that boy was thinking touchdown the whole way. He's like, last time I got a huge touchdown out of this. So beautiful play. I like how they set that up there with it's like a speed option look, but it's a reverse. Because the thing about that is, and it's not like a reverse in a lot of ways, because most reverses go to a running back and then to another person. This ball never leaves Spencer's hands until it goes, All right, and we get Juju in. Good blocking, gets a little 4-yard gain. Nothing wrong on that play. I'm sure if I dissect it, I could find something wrong, but I mean, Bell, we'll hand off to Bell. This time we do give it to Bell. He almost was going to break that too. It would have been nice if he did. He didn't. It's okay. And then we've got Lloyd back in. Wells, yep, there's that motion again. Just that jet sweep motion. Just the idea of that guy coming across and threatening that has been really big for us, guys. AB was doing a lot, Marty and Brown was doing it a lot, and I did say we didn't hand it. We actually don't run that, like actually hand it to him enough on those jet sweep looks. But in this scenario, it wouldn't have been there anyway. There was a guy defending it, and that's the whole thing. I mean, we're pulling defenders off, out away from the line there by showing that look. So good play call. I like it. All right, okay. So we shut them down on a 4th down right here, and this is the last drive of the game for us. This is our last offensive drive, and we shut them down on a 1st down here, or a 4th down, and we have a chance to just kind of seal the game. Personally, I felt like A&M was quitting here because they have 3 timeouts, and typically you would call one here, and they didn't. They didn't call the timeout. The clock's ticking. I don't understand them not making the timeout call right there, other than, like I said, I felt like Fisher gave up right there for a split second. He gave up, and then he was like, oh, we got in there and got a negative run. You know what? I'm going to call a timeout now. Or maybe he just thought he had to have his timeout for the second half, for when if they get the ball back, he was willing to lose a little bit more time, which doesn't make any sense. You always want to have the time in your offense's hand, not hold it on the defensive side of the ball, because your offense has control over the clock, not your defense. But whatever. I honestly think Fisher had given up, and then he was like, no, we're not going to give up. We're not going to give up. They make a big play right here. We're going to fight. These guys are still fighting. We're going to keep fighting. Not great blocking on this play, as far as from our side. But I mean, they're selling out for the run. They know we're running it at this point. So it's kind of hard at this point to go, hey, it's bad blocking or whatnot, because here, very next play, and to that point, they're selling out for the run again. And, here they are selling out for the run again. I mean, they're stacked heavy in the box, and brought their safeties down, everything. And Marshawn's going to pull off a nice run here anyway, regardless. Bounces it to the outside. And this was a controversial thing. I don't know if Marshawn stepped out too early, wasn't aware of the sticks, thought he already had the 1st down, or this was a bad spot. But what I don't like is it was never even looked at. There was no replay of this. Nobody brought it up. The commentators didn't bring it up. Nobody questioned the spot at all. I think they thought they had the 1st down by the way they reacted afterwards. And then we line it up, put Bell in the backfield, and hand it off to him again. Which is fine because we hadn't done it at least once or twice in this game, but at that point they probably knew it was coming, especially if you look at the set, because it's all tight ends. There's nobody else to hand the ball off to. So this time it's going to Bell. I like the other play where it was Marshawn in the lead because, um, it gave Bell gave them looking at Bell, and the ball went to Marshawn. They could have lined it up the same way here. So instead of having whoever this is blocking, tight end conversion guy, whoever is probably I don't know who this is. I have to see their number. I was thinking Trayvon Kenyon potentially. If this was Lloyd instead, then at least he's the eye candy right there. So this comes back to personnel usage sometimes. I'm like, where's my eye candy here? Give me Lloyd right here, just like we had him there earlier and had a big play off of it. Where is Lloyd right here so that they're looking at him instead of Bell? Okay, so, it is what it is. I mean, this ends up being our final play, our final offensive play of the game. And I'm just going to let this play for a minute while I give my final thoughts on the game. Overall, obviously, I wasn't enthused with the open and drive play calling. If you watch that video, I said it was probably some RPOs too. It wasn't straight passes. I just felt like it was too cutesy, obviously. The thought process that the play calling didn't change from the first half to the second half. Not a lot, but to a degree it did. It was a lot of the same styles of runs, but they did add some different things in there. And the perimeter passes, the wide receiver screens and swing passes were there earlier in the second half that I think allowed us to open up the run game a little bit. We should have seen a little bit more of that in the first half. Speaking of that, we still can see, we saw Spencer not throw to De'Carrion Joyner on one of those. I'm not happy about that, especially considering how much we're complaining that De'Carrion didn't get thrown into the game and whatnot. And let's find a better play to watch while we're having this final discussion. Yeah, like, not this one. Oh, let's watch. Let's come back and find a big run. But they here, we'll put it on this one. There we go. Spencer has some happy feet still. It's not as bad though. It's not as prevalent as it was earlier in the year. So the happy feet's kind of gone away, and that's also opening up our offense. But he still got them there. It's cost us some scenarios in this game. The accuracy was there. We obviously had a couple of drops in the game that took away from things. We had a lot of pass interference calls that weren't or lack thereof on pass interference calls. Just atrocious officiating in this game. In all honesty, everybody says, hey, I'm the biggest stat defender. In all honesty, past that first series, and past some personnel usage things, and past, I felt like he was a little too pass heavy on first downs for a little while in the game, before we got closer to the end of the game, and when we knew we wanted to run time off the clock. I felt like he needed a little bit more first down runs at different times, especially for a series of the game and just throughout the game. But it wasn't as bad as I had initially thought either. There was definitely times where we ran the ball on first and second down, and the run got shut down. So you have to look at that scenario as well. It's not all what I say. It's not 2 + 2 = 4. It's not that simple sometimes. And so cut sat a little slack there on that end. There's still some developing on Spencer's end, but this kid is coming along so fast. I've told y'all, and I keep saying, I believe by Missouri, by this weekend. I think this weekend's going to be the hugest breakout game for that kid. I think this Saturday, the matchup is there. We have a good defensive line from Missouri. You know, not, it's so hard to compare, and say, hey, are they as good as Texas or better than Texas? On paper and on the eye test, I would say Missouri's D line has been better than a lot of the D lines we've gone against. Not necessarily Georgia or Arkansas or whatever, but um, I think our O line is going to be fine against those guys. We're going to get enough protection, and I think that um, their secondary is struggling, and I think this is going to be Spencer's breakout game. I think they're going to have to key in. And I just think they're going to have to key in to stop the run game and Marshawn Lloyd. And as they try to key in, I don't think they're going to be able to stop us in the pass game. I think as they key in on that run game, that I think they're still going to struggle to stop. But as they key in on it, man, the passes are just going to be there. I think this weekend is going to be Spencer's breakout game. I feel comfortable to say that he is so much more comfortable. Is he still making, like I said, yeah, he had some happy feet a couple times, but nothing like we saw earlier this year. Guys, you go all the way back to Georgia State. Spencer had some really happy feet, like really, really happy feet. And our O-line took a lot of heat in the media between um, Georgia State and Arkansas about how many sacks was, and this and that, and all these different things. And I just, when you listen to Coach Beamer talk about missed reads on RPOs and stuff that Spencer was having in that game, you could see it. You go back and watch and go, okay, you see what he's talking about there. It makes a lot of sense that, the line would take some heat unnecessarily because, if you're making bad reads on RPOs, that can make the line look bad. It can make a lot of things look bad. But I have faith in Spencer. I've been pretty critical of the kid. He did block me on Twitter because he's probably seen some of my critiques or whatnot. And but at the same time, he's coming along nicely. And I know everybody's, well, why didn't we build a system around Spencer? What is a Spencer system? Is it air raid like he did in Oklahoma for 1 year, but wasn't successful the next year? What is Spencer's system? Did Spencer maybe come here looking to do the system? And I think that answer is 100% yes. I think Spencer wanted to learn more pro-style football. He was very underdeveloped at Oklahoma. If y'all want to blame some of the woes that we're seeing right now, blame them on Oklahoma's coaches. They did not develop this kid the way they could have. They had something special here, and instead of using the something special and developing him properly, I think they took Caleb Williams, who fit their system a little bit better, and maybe it was just never the right. Oklahoma just might have never been the right school for Spencer, but Gamecocks weren't here yet. His first year in Oklahoma was the year before Shane Beamer came to South Carolina. Hey, and Shane Beamer was in Oklahoma. Spencer had his best year. Shane Beamer left Oklahoma. Next year was not good for Spencer. That's a stretch. I know. Shane Beamer wasn't the quarterback's coach or anything like that. But hey, coincidence, right? I think this is going to be, I think we're going to see a fun game this Saturday from our offense, guys. And I think we're going to finish this strong. I'm starting to truly believe we might win out this season. Tennessee and Clemson are still out there, and I haven't really broken down much at Clemson, but I do know that the key to beating Tennessee is going to be, in our secondary. Can we slow them down? Is our D-line going to be getting through there? And then, are we going to be able to stay, are we going to be hot enough on offense to stay in the game if they are scoring, to keep the game, close enough to win it by the end? I don't think if we win it, it's not going to be a blowout. If Tennessee wins it, it could be a blowout, obviously. But I think if we win it, it's not going to be some blowout game. But I'm starting to see a path to victory against Tennessee. I haven't seen a lot of Clemson, but I'm hearing a lot of, hey, they're a little overrated. A lot of games have been close this year, a lot closer than what you would think they were going to be. So they're not necessarily improving through the year. They're just kind of staying the same. Status quo is kind of the same. They just benched their quarterback, because he was having a hard time keeping the ball the last game, and they brought in another guy and just handed the ball off to Shipley the whole time, so they could win the game basically. Or I think they said that the new quarterback came in and threw 2 passes, and basically it was just they lined up and overpowered an inferior team to them, in Syracuse, and they just came in with their O-line and just beat them down. Very similar to what it sounds like, as far as like what happened with Missouri and Georgia. Just hey, we gotta get our line up there. We just got to push these guys around, and we got to go win the game, and it ain't gonna be pretty. So that game's setting up nicely at the end of the year, guys. I think the next 3 we got, and those last 2 are going to be the ones that are going to really determine how special of a year this ends up being. We're going to be, I firmly believe we're going to be 8-2 going into Tennessee game. Tennessee coming to us, and at that point, the destiny is in their hands, guys. We'll see what these guys do, and I think maybe even the big hope and the big positive there is that by that point of the year, it looks like if we're on an upward trajectory, constantly going up, game by game, constantly looking better, and if that's the case, we very well may get those last 2 games. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Please like and share, and subscribe, and do those things that helps the channel grow. I really want to see this channel grow, and I use this channel for multiple things, and even have a whole other idea coming out soon. Just trying to grow the Lady Bree brand in general. And so, guys, please like, share, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you.